Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're unpacking a genuinely fascinating ancient text. We're going to look at how it built this incredibly structured social safety net, basically using historical memory and gratitude as the foundation.
It's a timeless question, right? How did early societies actually ensure their most vulnerable people didn't just fall through the cracks? Well, Deuteronomy 26 offers us this incredible blueprint for community welfare and bilateral agreements. So let's just dive right in and see exactly how it worked.
Act 1. The Firstfruits Ritual and Historical Recitation.
So this first section is all about looking back to establish a really profound sense of gratitude. The text outlines this very specific, almost theatrical physical ritual for when the Israelites entered the Promised Land. You basically take the absolute first of your harvest, put it in a basket, present it to the priest, set it directly in front of the altar, and worship. It's kind of like gratitude made completely tangible.
And what's really fascinating here is how the text literally compresses generations of history into this mandatory recitation that you speak directly over the fruit. The worshiper recounts the whole shebang, starting with a perishing Syrian ancestor, going through the hard bondage in Egypt, all the way to a mighty deliverance, and finally, arrival.
And that brings us to this incredibly famous phrase, the land that floweth with milk and honey. This directly connects their immediate physical prosperity, the literal food in that basket, to the ultimate fulfillment of those ancient promises.
Moving on to Act 2, the third year tithe.
Let's see how this personal gratitude transforms into vital community action. Every third year, this harvest was explicitly redistributed. Actually, think of it like an ancient, highly structured municipal tax code for social welfare, and it was designated entirely for society's most vulnerable folks, the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow.
The whole goal here was simple but honestly profound, that they may eat within thy gates and be filled. The provider actually had to guarantee the purity of the offering, meaning no cutting corners and absolutely no using it for morning rituals, just to ensure that marginalized people were not just fed, but completely filled.
Which brings us to our final section, Act 3, a mutual covenant. The chapter wraps up with this powerful binding agreement between the people and God. It's essentially a strict bilateral contract. The people commit to total obedience, right? Walking in his ways and keeping his statutes. And in return, God commits to elevating and protecting them, making them a peculiar holy people, high above all nations in praise and honor.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this. How does your own community remember its history? And how does it care for the people who need it most? Do these ancient structures of mandated memory and welfare challenge, or maybe even mirror, our modern society? It's definitely something to chew on as you look at the world around you today. Thanks for joining me.